Hello, everybody. My name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show. And I know you guys going to love today's guest. Not only is she amazingly good at what she does, she has a job where there was only 4 women in her lifetime which did that. And you guys going to meet her right after this. Hello again, my name is Christian and I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and you guys gonna love today's guest. So not only is this the third take on this episode, so we had some technical difficulties, and I honestly believe that was because somebody doesn't want us to get this information out there. So not only has today's guest has an amazing background in a few different things, and you guys going to learn a little bit more about her in a little bit. But for me, I always said there's more females in the industry need to do what she does. She does podcasting. She does so many other fun things on the side. But the most amazing thing is she manages an amazing team of shipping. So she's in transport. So you guys going to meet Kathleen DeBrizio. How are you? And welcome to the Disruptive Chef Show.
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
So I'm really excited about this conversation because I learned through you that this is all mom's fault. So let's tell everybody where you're calling in from and how did this whole thing start?
Well, I'm calling in from the Dallas area in Texas. This is my current residing place. This is the 4th place I've lived in this business. I've moved. It's definitely been an adventure. But how it all started? Well, let's see. It started when I was 16. So I've been in this business for 33 years. I was 16. I was working at a gas station and I was looking at my girlfriends and they were all like going into like waitressing jobs and stuff like that. And I just didn't want to do that. I have full respect for the wait people in the world, the servers of the world, because I cocktail waitressed for a while when I was in my 20s. It's hard. It's a hard job. I have full respect for those people. Unfortunately, it was just something I didn't want to do. So I actually asked my mother to help me create a resume and to help me find a job. And my mother actually helped me find a job at a trucking company. And I worked after school at a trucking company hauling ocean containers. I did general office work, so I'd go in, and then when I got to graduation, as soon as I graduated, I went full time, and I've really never looked back from the industry since that moment.
I absolutely love that. And can you tell our audience a little bit how many females have ever held that position you have?
Only one other. Actually, only one other did it, and that was years ago. I am the second female to ever run a marine division in the history of the business for a global container carrier. And I'm the only one doing so now.
It's absolutely amazing. So our audience really understands what does it actually mean? So can you run through what does your day look like? What is your area? Where do you start from up north? How far do you go south? So just talk to our listeners a little bit. What is that job really all about?
So as a head of the Marine Division, I have basically the entire Western Hemisphere is my area. So from Canada straight down through South America. So any vessels coming in or going out is under my management. Any cargo flowing in and out of terminals is under my management. I have the port captains and I have the vessel planners. I have schedulers, terminal operational problems, and I have compliance on top of it because, nobody knows where else to put hazmat, so they put it under Marine. So I have the compliance department as well. So I have a total of 19 employees. Some of them are remote. My port captains are actually in ports and stuff like that, and they work remotely. And that is basically a day in my life can consist of terminal operational problems, helping the planners if they have any issues with vessels coming in or the plans getting done, regardless of whether it's in South America, Mexico, Canada, East Coast, West Coast, doesn't matter. Any problems with the Panama Canal transits, I would get involved with. Compliance issues with hazmat, going overseas, any issues with ports and terminal regulations. That's basically a day in my life.
I mean, I find it fascinating, and thank you for sharing this with our audience. Because for me, there was, we spoke a little bit before the show, and we spoke a few weeks ago, because this is a very male-dominated industry you're in. So can you share with us a moment when you realized that the popular belief you had didn't align with your experience?
Okay, so I'll start out by telling you that there was 4 types of women in my industry. And this is just from my experience. So the first type of woman is the one that keeps her head down. She does her job. Nobody sees her. Everybody steps over her. She doesn't get promotions because she doesn't get recognized. The second type of woman is the one that basically takes on the, excuse my expression, the bitch persona. But then nobody wants to deal with her because, why? Because she's a bitch. Nobody wants to deal with a person like that. And then you've got the third type, which is the one that tries to sleep her way to the top, which grosses me out because, in my opinion, and excuse my expression again, you don't shit where you eat. But they try to sleep their way to the top, and it doesn't ever work because they always get left behind. And then you've got that rare fourth type of woman, the one that actually wants to embrace her business, and she wants to learn what it is that she's doing and how to advance in it. I was the first type of woman. I kept my head down. I did my job. I didn't go out of line. I had my blinders on. Everybody stepped over me. Everybody walked around me, didn't even see me half the time. Speaking of not seeing me, my defining moment came during one of those times. I was at my desk. 2 gentlemen in the back of the room were actually having a conversation. I honestly don't think that they knew I was there. And they were talking, and then one guy looks at the other guy, and he goes, you know what? He goes, blah, blah, blah. He goes, women in this business ruin it. And the other one's like, ha, ha, ha. He goes, why do they ruin it? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, because they have fucking babies. Excuse me? We ruin this industry as women because we have babies? I had 1 baby, and I was out for 6 weeks. And I can tell you it didn't ruin the industry. I came back and went right back to my job. But it was that moment, literally that moment in that comment, that I was like, F you, dude. I'm going to show you exactly what the hell a woman can do in this business. And that was when I came out of my shell. I guess you could say I found my burn. It was a fire that lit under my rear end, and I came out of my shell. I started talking to everybody. I started learning what they did. And I started embracing what I did. Instead of just keeping my head down and doing my job, I started learning the entire business.
Yeah. We absolutely love that about you. And when I hear that story, it makes me chuckle because there's so many people in any industry. And so for even now, for the listeners, go back 2 minutes, what you just said, because it doesn't make a difference if you're in transportation, if you in any other industry, if you do windows, toilets, doesn't really matter. What you just said is so absolutely true, because the day you realize and say, I want to play in this, and not do I only want to play in this, I want to show other people and let my persona, let my thing shine before you even know me. And for me, that's absolutely amazing. So you always talk about that there is strength is within us all. So can you talk to us a little bit what that means and where that came from?
I grew up in Chicago. My upbringing wasn't the best, I guess you could say. I mean, I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't have a bad life. I mean, we were blue collar, my entire life. but it was always pounded into my head. I mean, I come from baby boomers. My father was exactly 40 years older than me the day I was born. So, I mean, I come from baby boomers, and they pushed in my head, if you want something, and nothing in life that comes for free will hold its value. If you want something in life, you got to work for it, because then it actually holds more value, and it's actually more worth it to you because you had to work for it. So I always had that strength within me. I just never knew it. And I never saw it until that day when that person made that comment, and it just triggered something in me. And I was like, you know what? I'm enough with this. I mean, my industry, I work in transportation, and I've been in it for 33 years. There are 15% women in this business. There's only 5% of us on the maritime side of this business. Now, I've never sailed. I've never sailed a day in my life. But I've been on the maritime side of the business for 15 years. You can do it if you put your mind to it. But the strength within us all, you have to see it within yourself, and you have to really, truly believe that you can do anything. Because we can, I mean, granted, am I going to be able to pick up a big, humongous, box and move it across the room? No, I'm 129 pounds. I know I can't do that. But if working in the right way, I know I can get it moved. I can get it, I can get a dolly and I can do it. But see, that's the thing. I'm thinking about, how can I move this? I'm not just going to do it with brute strength. Just like I'm not going to get ahead in a male-dominated industry, just towing the line and staying within my box and coloring within the lines. You need to color outside the lines. You need to create a new box. You need to actually move outside of your comfort zone. And that's how you embrace your inner strength, is to actually see your own strength, to recognize that within yourself and embrace it.
I love that. So looking back and looking on who you are, where did that come from? Did it come mom, dad? Where did you learn that there's strength within us all?
Honestly, it was just something that I mean, my father definitely, my father and my mother both. My mother was one of the strongest people I knew. But she was also the kindest person I knew. And I could see that strength did not discount kindness. My mother would be the first person to take the shirt off her own back and give it to somebody else. But she was also strong, and she would beat you to the ground if she had to. I mean, my mom was mean if she wanted to be, But my father came from the transportation industry. He used to build trains. He used to build locomotives. So he was that gruff and gritty kind of guy, When I lost my father when I was 23, he died of a massive heart attack. So I think a lot at that point, it was I had to grow up very quickly. I moved out of my house when I was 15. Because my mother and I were not getting along. I moved in with my dad when I was 16. So I'd lived on my own for about a year. But when my father passed away, I had to actually find that strength within myself to no longer be with a parent. I was 23. I had a misspent youth. I mean, granted, I worked and I never stopped working. But it was hard to embrace, oh my God, all these bills are now mine, So you find it within yourself on how to, I guess, step to the next level of who you are. But I didn't really embrace my real true strength, I think, until I actually got into the corporate working world. And I was done being stepped on or stepped over. I had applied for like 12 different jobs. And I'm not kidding you, 12 different jobs. And I interviewed for 12 different jobs. And it was like sideways slides. So these should have been like no-brainers. There were some that I wasn't qualified for, some that I was overqualified for, some that I was exactly qualified for. But I didn't get any of them. And then finally, after the 12th one, I made a decision. First time in my entire career, I went to HR. An investigation ensued because they were confused on why I didn't get any of these jobs. And I found out my boss at the time was actually blocking me. So after my interview, he would go behind me and talk to the manager and say, no, I can't lose her. I I need keeper. So then they wouldn't offer me the job. So then that blocking stops. So the 13th job, so 13 is a lucky number. Remember that. The 13th job I actually got, and that is what changed the entire trajectory of my career. I became a port captain at that time. Mm-hmm. That's what changed everything.
I absolutely love the story. And again, to our listeners, if you just go back 2-3 minutes on the things she talked about, it's, I think what fascinates me about what you do, it's so industry wide. It doesn't really need to be the transportation industry. You could put any name, you could put hospitality, you could put any name in front of it. And I absolutely love that. And you also talked a lot about that, that as your dad passed, that had such a huge impact on you, who you are and who you became after that. So for me, let's to that section, because you could have had stayed in an easier job, but that wasn't you. So talk to us a little bit. What motivated you to do the job you do today is to do other stuff.
So when I became a port captain, okay, so let me back up a little bit. In 2009, I actually got the opportunity to go to the corporate office to move. So we moved out of Chicago, we moved to Arizona, and I started working on the vessel side of the business, and an entirely new world opened up. Now, prior to this, I had always been on basically the warehouse or the logistics side. So moving like trains, road, domestic movement. When I got to the other side, when I got to the vessel side, it was like, oh my God, this entire world just opened up. And it was like, oh, I need to be here. This is where I need to be because this is awesome. And then I got a position where I was actually managing. I did a sideways slide within not even 18 months of the first job. And I did a sideways slide and I started managing refrigerated cargo. So I started working with terminals. And I started working with customers, and I started actually having to travel to terminals and figure out problems and stuff like that. So I started looking at the operations, and it was like, that's the side I need to be on. Now, I stayed in that business, in that position for like 4.5 years. Excuse me. That was where I got stuck. That was the one the manager was blocking me. But when I got the opportunity on that 13th job, I got that opportunity. I became a port captain, or a vessel manager. So basically I started managing vessels, and I started managing strings up and down the East Coast, up and down the West Coast. So I started talking to terminals and ports. And then a few years later, they moved me to New Jersey. So I moved from Arizona to New Jersey, and I actually got the ability to go on the terminals and to actually be physically on the terminals. I go up on the ships, and I'm, standing by the cranes, and I'm interacting with the labor. It was the best job I have ever had in my entire life. And I mean, what made me passionate about this business was I fell in love with the people in it, the workforce, the labor, the truckers, the railroad guys, the guys on the ground, the guys on the string piece, the guys up on the vessel. I mean, and that's literally, I'm surrounded by guys. I have no problems being the only woman in the room. I really could care less. But it's the people. I could have any conversation. And then, of course, with my attitude and my mouth, I swear like a sailor, I fit right in, So being up on the ship or being down on the ground, the string piece with the labor in the trucks and running around and being by the straddles and stuff like that, watching, the cranes hook up and move vessels or move ships and move containers. It's like the best job ever. I literally enjoyed every single day that I went to work. I don't think in 2 years straight that I was in New Jersey, I don't think I called in sick one day. Not even one, because I loved what I did. And it was then that I actually found that passion. The position that I'm in now, they actually found me via LinkedIn. I was recruited. And it was due to the fact that for 8 years, I had been a port captain. So I had experience with the East Coast. I had experience with the West Coast, and the company that hired me was looking to potentially bring their vessels back to the East Coast. Now, they'd been running cargo through there, but they hadn't actually brought a vessel in there for 4 years at that point, and they needed somebody to reintroduce them I had every connection in the book. I know every C-suite and every operational outfit for every major port and terminal in this country, Canada, Mexico, and South America. So I had the connections that they were looking for. And I had the right attitude because they hired me within a week. So
I love that whole story. And for me, there's three things I just learned about what you said. The first one was that I kind of floated. I got into this job. I moved from Arizona to New Jersey, and I loved what I did. Not only did I love what I did, I felt that was the first time I belonged because the people around me are absolutely amazing. And for me, there's so many people in this industry, especially in the hospitality industry, where they feel the hospitality industry called them. And I honestly believe you are meant to do this. And because they love being in the hospitality industry, because they love the person they working to the left of them and the person which works to the right of them. And they want to make an impact. And that's for me so absolutely amazing. And even when you talk about it, and I encourage anybody who is actually watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, when you talk about it, you almost become a different person. It was amazing to watch on how excited you were about to tell that story. And for me, if you go back what she just said earlier, the things she had to overcome, dad passed away. But then how she translated that power into doing something you absolutely love. So for me, if there was anything else, I encourage our listeners to go back a few minutes and hear this, because if you can find that within you, if you can find this within an industry, and everything else becomes, I don't want to say easier, but becomes effortless. Because just looking at the way you spoke about that is absolutely amazing. So I have a question for you. So how do you, or what would you say to somebody, male or female, who has, challenges in their current status, in the current company they work with? What would you tell somebody if they're saying, I know I belong here. I just don't know how to break through?
You have to find your passion. Okay. So once you find your passion, no matter what, everything else is seamless. I mean, yeah, granted, there's bumps in the road, and things can be difficult, but you need to find that passion. I have a passion for transportation. I mean, this business, something new happens every single day. It is never the same, and you have to embrace. Excuse my expression. You have to embrace the suck. Basically, you have to make sure that you're embracing what sucks about your job, because that's actually what's going to make it fun. Because when you find your passion, solving problems actually becomes awesome instead of a chore. You have to make it fun. And okay, you may not like who you report to. God knows, in my career, I've not liked a lot of people I've reported to. But you can like everybody around you. Don't focus on what's above you. Focus on what's next to you, because that's where you're going to actually excel. Like whenever I had that fire lit underneath me, where I was like, F you, dude, I'm going to show you what a woman can do. I didn't stay in my space. I didn't stay in my box. I started talking to all the different departments. I started talking to the trucking department. I started talking to the M&R department. I started talking to the equipment department. I started talking to the rails. I started talking to the rail department, the ports and the terminals. I talked to everybody. I got out of my own shell. I literally ripped my shell off, and I said, I cannot be this way anymore. I must actually embrace my passion and learn more. I have to learn more. And it's the only way I knew how to do my job so well that my manager blocked me for years to even try to get out, because I did my job so well. So because I knew so much. If I went on vacation in that position, him and my coworker had to be in, but they could both be on vacation at the same time, and I ran the entire department. So you have to find your passion. That's what will help you to get through anything. Find and embrace that passion.
I love that. So, what advice would you have for somebody then who is inspiring or aspiring to do what you do? What words of wisdom or what advice would you have for them?
Take it slow and don't expect the world to be handed to you on a silver platter, because it doesn't work that way. Welcome to reality, baby. But I mean, it's the harsh truth. But if you go in with delusions of grandeur, it's going to be a slap in the face. And I don't care if you're male or female. I don't care if you're in a female-dominated industry and you're a man, or if you're in a male-dominated industry and you're a woman. It's going to take time. Like I said in the beginning, I've been in this business for 33 years. It took me I've been at my position. It took me 24 years to get to the point to where now I'm the second female to ever run a Marine division. 24 years. It's not a drop in the bucket. It took time. You have to be patient, and you have to learn everything you can. And the best way to learn about a business that you're passionate about is to talk to other people that are in it, even if it's negative. Because I mean, I've watched in my career, I've watched departments basically fold in on themselves. I've watched managers that were absolutely awful. And then I've watched people that I wanted to become, just like them, because they were like my heroes. People in the business, if you talk to enough people, they will tell you how not to be, how to be, what not to do, and what to do. All you have to do is be able to absorb the information, stand back and watch. And for women in male-dominated industries, it doesn't matter if it's transportation, doesn't matter if it's tech, it doesn't matter what the hell it is. Before you respond, stop, take a breath, think about it, and then respond. Because women, and I know that women are going to agree with me, even though they're going to hate I say it, we are emotional creatures, and we will respond with emotion because somebody's going to piss us off, and we're going to be like, and we show it on our face. I mean, I know I wear my emotions on my face. Stop, take a breath, and then respond, because then you can actually respond intellectually, and you're not responding with just emotion.
I love that. That's some really good advice, and that's cross industry. So I really, really appreciate it. I look just at a time I can talk to you forever. But before we pivot, I wanted to see if you're up for playing something called Rapid Fire Question Food Service Edition. But before we do this, let us look a little bit behind the scenes. Let us look behind the curtain. What is Kathleen working on, Kathleen, for the next 6 months? And what is Kathleen working on her business or on her hobbies for the next 6 months?
Well, I'm still in my position in the corporate world, but I have 2 podcasts. I have one on the transportation industry, which I was revamping for a minute. I'm actually going to be recording one later on today for that. So I'm bringing that one back. And then I also have my coaching podcast. So my transportation podcast, you can find me on Spotify and YouTube, and that is Shoreside Operational, not just another supply chain podcast, because I talk real. I talk to some people. I have conversations with real people. I don't want to interview the idiots in their ivory towers. They're so far removed from the day-to-day life of operations and transportation that I wouldn't get anything out of them. So I interview real people, and I talk just about the business. And then the other one is SSO Coaching 76, and you can find that on YouTube and Spotify as well. And that is my coaching platform. It is for male and female. And it's just basically leadership. It's leadership advice. I've been mentoring people for years, and I've been coaching. I actually started my coaching business about 2 years ago. So I do coach. I have a school app, which is SSO Coaching 76. So if you're interested, you can jump on the school app, SKOOL, and you can find me there. Or, of course, you can find me on LinkedIn. And I'm just building my coaching business in helping my husband build his business, and just going from there, just trying to make me a better version of me. And yes, I would love to play your game.
That's awesome. And first off, I really appreciate you as honest as you are about it wasn't an easy career, but you absolutely excelled at it. And for me, if you do three things you talked about, I won't give up. I learn what I need to learn, and I work on myself. And then the things will come. And for me, that's really what our podcast is all about, because we have written create on it, because we creating conversation. And you said this multiple times today. Hey, I talk to the trucking guys. I talk to everybody on the field. And this is how you excel. So for me, that's absolutely amazing. I love talking to you. I love how real you are. I think that's one of the coolest thing about you. And best of success on all of the stuff you do. So with that,
thank you.
Rapid fire question, food service edition. So to our audience, which are new, so this is a rapid fire question segment, which goes in the food service industry, because we want to know, what do you think about food? And it's really simple to answer, yes or no, and why. And I have 25 questions. My team kind of rearranges the questions for special people. So you got the hard questions, so no pressure. So if you're up for playing, let's play rapid fire question food service edition. Miss Kathleen, give me a number between 1 and 25.
6.
6. If a dish doesn't make you cry happy tears, would you consider it a failure? Yes or no, and why?
No, because you can still eat it. It's still palatable. I'm from Chicago. We grew up with comfort food. Come on.
I'm in you, because there's no food as good as the one which is made for you.
Exactly.
So we don't cry. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
19.
19. Should more dishes be named after people, like the Heartbreakers pie? Yes or no, and why?
No, because I have no idea what the hell I'd be eating.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. Give me a number between 1 and 25.
2.
2. Should ramen noodles be legit breakfast food? Yes or no, and why?
No, they should be outlawed. Oh my God, there's so much salt in there. You walk around saturated all day. Those things are awful.
I love it. Oh my God. Some of the questions my team did it. I was like, give me a number between 1 and 25.
16.
16. Is cooking with soda pop a culinary crime or genius? Yes or no, and why?
I would say it's a culinary crime, because I don't even drink soda. So you probably give me a stomach ache.
Oh my God. This is the best. Okay, give me a number between 1 and 25.
Let's go with number 1.
Number 1. Can bacon make literally everything taste better, including ice cream? Yes or no, and why?
I'm going to say no, even though people are going to hate me for this. I love bacon, but no, you do not put bacon on my ice cream. I will smack you. That is just gross. The closest thing to get to sweet is dipping in my syrup with my pancakes. That's it.
There's a whole movement. Bring the pig back on ice cream. Okay, last question between 1 and 25.
Let's go with 25.
25. Oh my God. Should we start offering breakup meals on the menu, designed to make you cry or laugh? Or do both at the same time? Yes or no, and why?
Well, I would say maybe. Because I mean, Haagen-Dazs would definitely get a boost in their sales because restaurants would be giving out too much ice cream and chocolate. You know, I mean, Andy's Candies would definitely can make a comeback. But I honestly, I mean, breakup meals, it's very depressing to be seeing on a menu. It's like, seriously, I don't want to eat here. You know, it's sad. You know, you don't want a breakup meal. You want like makeup meals. You know, like you don't want like, you know, to do. I hate to put it this way. You don't want to do breakup sex. You want makeup sex. Why in the hell would you want to eat a breakup meal? It's like sad food.
Oh my God. Oh my God. And that completes rapid fire question food service edition. So I really appreciate you playing rapid fire food service edition. I think we're going to talk about this episode for a while, but I really appreciate you being here today. Thanks for really sharing so honestly on what you made what you are today. Thanks for sharing the passing of your dad and how impactful this was for you, and then also having somebody who didn't let you move forward. So if anybody is in that same boat, what word of wisdom would you have for them?
I have a few words, and it's what I use in my coaching. See your strength, recognize your significance, and embrace your opportunity. Look at problems like they're opportunities and just obstacles to get over. That's it.
I love that. I love that. So, and with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. Thanks for doing this. I know we had some technical difficulties, but I really appreciate the conversation. And I really admire how honest you are, because this is not an easy industry you're in. No. And being the second female only ever to do it is absolutely amazing. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. I really, really appreciate this conversation. And to our listener, remember, until next time, just disrupt your kitchen, fire up your career, stay hungry for change. I'm Christian. I'm here with Kathleen, and we are out of here. So we are signing off. Go out there, be the change, be the challenge, and be the chef who sets the world on fire. Miss Kathleen, I really appreciate you. Thanks for doing this. Best of luck with your podcast this afternoon. And to our listeners, make sure to go out and be disruptive, everybody.